So much taste. Okay, I'm gonna move over to the credits now. Maybe? I think I might. We'll see. Probably because it's gonna get copyrighted, and I'm trying to be a little better about that now that I can. So, overall, I guess I'll lower the volume a little bit. I like to use the credits to kind of talk about the game and my experience with it, and just to refresh people. Just to sort of refresh people, this game came out in 2018, and that's the year that I graduated high school. And I went to school in Boston, Northeastern University, and I was really lonely during that first year. I had broken up with a girlfriend that I kind of caused a little bit, so here and there, like I'm not gonna hate nothing here, but I went to a new city, and I knew one person, but I wanted to create my own like place, and even I went to school for engineering, but I wanted to like meet people in other like professions and stuff. I wanted to diversify. I wanted to learn because I didn't want to be just surrounded by a ton of engineers all the time, even if it probably would have been better for my engineering career if I had done that. I realized like my connection to engineering isn't as strong as it is for others, and both my parents were engineers, but they were like industrial engineers, so it allowed more openness than the civil and mechanical, electrical, which is what I started as. So here and there you could probably learn about that if you think about engineering. It's pretty cool and just thing to do, but it's a lot of work, a lot of studying, and a lot of hours in the library, and it's not always as glamorous. You're hidden behind stuff a lot of the times. But I spent a lot of time alone in the dining halls until I joined a fraternity the following semester. I wanted to wait. I could have rushed in the fall. A lot of schools don't let you do that. But I decided after I went back for winter break and Thanksgiving break, and I wasn't completely moved on and stuff, so I made a bit of a fool of myself. But I was ready during the spring of 2019 to move forward and build my own life. But during that fall of 2018, I was really, really sad. And I think part of it may have been that I had my Xbox. I was playing Black Ops 4, which was like a mid-game, but I wanted to play this game, and I couldn't because I didn't have a PlayStation. I've always had an Xbox. It was just what I got lucky enough to get when I was a kid. And you don't always have as many choices when you're young to do things until you build that up. But I had to just watch Chris Smooth play it during lunches here and there, and I was really happy to see it. But I wanted to play it because I loved these Spider-Man games growing up, like Friend or Foe, Spider-Man 2, Shattered Dimensions. I loved them. I loved them so much. There was even a time where I had moved in my life, and I barely had anything. I had this tiny TV and Xbox 360 and a Spider-Man game. I don't know which one it was, but I played the absolute hell out of it. So I've always liked the movies. I've had a pretty close connection to Spider-Man, my guy.
Well, I'm not an expert or anything, but I think it's in the way that you ask her.
I'm getting too nervous. Hey, all right, so where do you want this?
Right over here's fine.
All right. Hey, so Pete?
Yeah.
I kind of got to talk to you about something I can't tell my mom about.
What's up?
Well, weird things have been going on. Like physically.
Oh. Oh. Well, you know, you're at that age where your body starts to change. And so you may be noticing some areas,
No.
for example.
Not that. I think it's better that I just I show you.
No.
It's pretty weird, right?
Not that weird.
He did it first. Where was I? Yeah, so I couldn't play it. I had to just watch it. and that was in 2018 when it came out. And then I got through my years, ups and downs, tons of things. It's a great experience overall. I learned a lot about myself and people and life, and Boston was a cool place to have that. And I didn't end up staying, but I did for a while. And I worked while I was there. I had these internships that I could do instead of school, but it took longer to graduate because of it. But my last year, my last supposed to be year was 2023, which is 5 years instead of 4 because I was taking those internships. And I just didn't like the path I was on, like, a lot of ways. And I had felt like spiritually driven to do this too. But I dropped my classes after I got in this car accident of a car that my dad was nice enough to give. Like, he had a lease on it and he paid it out, but like, we had a little bit of a discrepancy there when I crashed it, because I was paying the insurance and I got the payout for it, and it was enough to like cover my like rent and my groceries and stuff. So I felt a bit of financial freedom, and I wanted to take that leap and bound to make money on YouTube and maybe not be an engineer after all. And it was pretty brutal on everything, but on my parents and stuff. And it wasn't gonna. I mean, I would have said I would have just gotten a job somewhere else if it didn't work out. I was thinking refereeing basketball. I would have really liked doing that, I think. Even if it would have been harder and I wouldn't have made as much money, it would have given me the opportunity to continue pursuing YouTube. Which is like crazy in that realm of the world, especially at a school that was like as, quote, prestigious as mine. So the people around me were looking at me kind of weird, which I get, whatever. But I used some of that money, one, to go to some basketball games, because the Hawks were playing the Celtics at that time, and I'm a Hawks fan, and Boston was in town. I had to go to the games. Some great experiences 2023. But I also bought a PS4, and I bought Spider-Man, Last of Us Part 2, and I don't know if I bought Until Dawn, but I played the hell out of Last of Us Part 2, and I will play that eventually as well. Probably around the same time as Marvel Spider-Man 2, even though I want to play the first one too, for the channel. I think it's very important that I do that. A lot of great topics to talk about and experience and fun games throughout it. But yeah, that year after, I took a little break. I took 2 classes, one at a time in 2023, which allowed me to pursue other things. I pursued some theater, and I also pursued, I just made that Call of Duty campaign, Black Ops 1, and I retook a class that I had failed the year prior, and I took another class as well that I needed to take. Oh no, did I take it? Oh, yeah, I took a second class. I can't even remember what it was. But it was some way. It was a way to like drag out my lease. I can't even remember. I played some basketball in Boston too. Organized. Competition's a little different, but it was fun. It was good. Got to grow a lot as a player. Had some really good experiences. I came back from a 19-point halftime deficit. I love telling people that. I told my my college team that because I sat courtside, and I told Donovan Mitchell that when I saw him the other time. Kind of here and there. It was funny. I'll tell that story real quick. It was they were down by 20 at halftime. I was like, I've never done 20 at halftime, but I've done 19. And I know you've seen 25. And because it was like at halftime, he was warming up. I don't know. It seemed like he heard me, but don't matter if he did or he didn't. But I always like to flex that because I was wearing. We were Team Pink, and the year prior or the season prior, I was Team Blue, and so we had like shirts or whatever. And we lost in the first round to Team Blue, and we were really good, but nobody showed up because we had like substitutes or something. So it was like a 4v4 game, and we lost, and it was just so upsetting. I was like the only small, and there were 3 bigs, and it was fine, but we lost. It was upsetting. So that following year, we didn't make the playoffs that time. We were kind of bad. We were like the worst in the league, but we were playing another team that wasn't that good, and they were kicking our ass. But there was one guy who was really good, and I'm pretty good at this boxing one. You just set up 2 in the front, 2 in the back, and one person runs around guarding their best player. I used to do it all the time in Iraq. It's a great strategy. I don't know if it probably wouldn't work in the NBA because there's no defender good enough that can guard everybody. Like, you just need help. But I was able to lock him up, and we got a little bit of a run, and my team started scoring. It was fun. So we won that. So yeah, I'm just telling my life there. But after I finished those 2 classes, I went back home to Texas where I filmed all of Far Cry 5, some Far Cry 3, not a lot of it, just like the later, and I'll probably film Far Cry 3 here as well, honestly. So it all changes around. But yeah, I played that game in that fall when I was studying for the fundamentals of engineering exam. It's like a way to get ahead, like, it's just like to show that you know what it is to be an engineer. It's good to have it, and that way you can start working to your professional engineering license. We'll see. I need to do a lot of things in between there, and still see here and there. I'm not going to share too much about my career, but I definitely think having that career that I've worked at and towards has helped me to do this as well. It's tough because I don't want anything to get in the way of this, like including like relationships and stuff. So yeah, I make a lot of sacrifices to make this work regardless of monetary outcome. And I do admit, like, I heard this like critique about capitalism from Karl Marx, where the reason that people like help people is because there's profit in it. And I guess that's kind of true. Because I love playing games, but I probably wouldn't go through all this effort and spend this money to like record it and share it if I didn't think there was a possibility to make some money. Which doesn't mean I don't feel intrinsically positive. But I'm like, the way I see it is like, even if I never make any money on this, I'm still so grateful that I'm doing it. But I admit that it is a driving force for me because I think making money could give me things that I want, like going to basketball games or giving to people that I am close to. I mean, I'll think about the charity here and there. I used to give to the food bank in Boston. See if there's other ways around. I don't give to campaigns. Maybe one day if I feel strongly enough about a candidate, you'd have to convince me, but I think it's good to know a little bit about politics. I mean, that Michelle Wu in Boston, I think, was doing a pretty good job, like, pushing public transportation, which I always felt really strongly about, even though, people try to rip it off sometimes. But I definitely want to go back to New York at least a little bit. I don't know about, I always said I would like to live there if I could afford to live there, like, really well. But you never know if there's reason for it. I mean, got to think about a lot of places, and where life takes you. And so, but I don't really feel a lot of need to like escape my situation. I feel like I tried to escape my situation in school and it worked. I was going a certain route in engineering that I didn't like, and by dropping and coming back, I was able to reroute and take a route that was more suited for me that I didn't even know existed. And I think the school did a really good job motivating me and teaching me, like my guidance counselors and stuff, and my teachers too. As much as they would give me a hard time sometimes, and I felt like they cared more about the kids who were like really good and not so much the kids that weren't, like me. I think there were a few that like really stood out to me that I thought was really cool. So that's cool. I wonder what this game is like to play in Japanese. I bet there's a way to do some of that stuff. So yeah, it was pretty cool to have that. That's why I really feel strong. I had a positive experience with my school, so I have no problem like vouching, and I would, if I ever had enough money, like maybe. But yeah, so I'm sure people who watch this are at different points in their life, or different, I don't know, do your thing, like take advice. You can write comments and stuff. Maybe I'll find a better way, and I do want to talk to my chat live stream, but I'm just not in a rush, so I'm hoping with cycle 2 I'm going to be more ready for growth. This first 7-year cycle, which yes is religiously driven a little bit, was to figure out the best way to do my channel. I think I finally got it now here where I'm at, and I'll see and I'll analyze it a lot over that time where I'm not like uploading. I'll still be recording and stuff like that, but I'm not going to be streaming. I'll have more time. I'll be seeing what worked, what didn't, what people want to see, what people might not, and I might get another monitor to like read chat if I can, and we'll see from there, like if I need to be places or whatever, because it's complicated. It's a complicated job, really open-ended, but I like it a lot, and we'll see from there. But yeah, so we can start talking about the story, I guess now. Aunt May dying, that really messed me up a little bit, because she seemed unkillable for so long. I don't know, I just didn't seem like that. Like the other people in the movies, they die all the time, but her? I mean, I won't say nothing about that, but there's a lot of different takes on it. So I guess, they're going a certain direction with this, and I like all the gadgets. It wasn't something I was always used to, but it seems like they're revamping Spider-Man to be more like a Batman with all his gear and his gadgets. So that's pretty cool. his gear and his gadgets, they're great and they're helpful. They add to the fight, and now that I know how to use them pretty well, it actually makes the game a lot more fun. So I'm curious to see how they do it in the sequel. And I know there is a spin-off, like a a Miles Morales version of Spider-Man, and I don't know. Like, it's a shorter game, and I saw my friend play it. It looked alright. Kind of seemed like the Fisk fight, though. I don't know. But, I mean, he's here. He's here to stay. We'll see when they make that animated version of the game. But it seems like it takes a lot of people to make this game. I even heard people call this Insomniac Spider-Man instead of Marvel's. I don't know why. That's Bjorn. That's PewDiePie's kid's name. I think it means bear or something. But yeah, it took me a little over 3 hours to do this act, and so the first one took me like it probably took in total 4 hours because that first episode that I filmed a little bit ago took me like 40 minutes. So we'll see how it goes. Like with the lack of editing, it'll definitely be a lot faster, which is great. But yeah, went faster. It was good. It was a fun experience. But I feel a little better about sitting through these credits because I actually played the whole game like really well in its entirety. And even though I didn't do a lot of the side missions, it's kind of a bit of the reasons I play some of these games is to encourage you as a viewer to at some point in your life, if you can afford it or manage the time or be responsible with it, to try to play these games and experience the things that I didn't show. So that was the big reason why I decided to just do the story for this, is so that if you wanted to spend a lot of time doing the extra stuff, you wouldn't feel that pressure to go through the story because you already know what happens. So we'll see how I can do that with other things. I change a lot. I do a lot of series at the same time, and that's kind of like I'm excited to see and see how I can market it better. So I do want to grow. It's not a necessity, but I also think that it's important to I think there are people out there that need what I do or want what I do. They just can't find it because YouTube, it does its job, but it might not do everything. So there might be a way that I can. And maybe that's dang, but even though I talk shit about Chris Smoove sometimes, because I want to do some of the things that he does a little differently. Like the example that I pull up all the time is the 2K, where he would just kick ass and win every single game. I didn't think that was that entertaining. So that's why I tried to make this a little bit more challenging by not having all the gadgets and stuff, for example. But I'm grateful that he made those videos at a time when I couldn't play them. Because then I could watch it, and I don't know how much I watched it. I think I watched a lot of it though, so I already had seen some things beforehand, and I've seen a little bit of Batman here and there, Arkham Knight, but I also want to play that game. That's why I'm starting that Arkham Asylum, then Arkham City, and then Arkham Knight. So I'll see how I balance all that stuff with Tomb Raider, and it's going to be a lot of planning. I'm pretty good at it. I've learned a lot about it throughout this experience. I've been scheduling this shit since probably 2021. I've been doing it really intensely with the scheduling. Google Calendar is my go-to. But I'm sure there's other ways you can do it. That one's just free, and you know how it is. So I don't know. I like to plan when I want something to go up, and then I go back and I see when I need to start it, when I need to finish it. And it used to take me 2 weeks to finish each video. Now it can take me a lot less, but some are still taking a long time, like this old school zombie stuff. Oh my god, I just need to finish this already, but it's such a pivotal series because it's a zombies thing, and zombies was what pushed me the most probably with YouTube. I really liked the Smith Plays, Mr. Dalek JD, and yeah, Mr. Raffle Waffles too, but they were they just didn't have the same type of gamer style that I did, which maybe I would have liked Mr. T Lexify, even though I didn't watch them a lot, because they were there were some that were just more hardcore gamers. The Relaxing End was probably my favorite, I would say, even though he didn't have any commentary, because he was just a gamer, and that's what I try to encompass too. I just want to be a gamer and show the games and play the games, because I know gaming takes a lot of time, and I'm gonna make the time, even if it means I gotta sacrifice a couple of things. You don't gotta sacrifice that. I just think I might be a little better at this, maybe. But do your thing. I mean, there's opportunity out there, so invest your stuff in games if you want, or other ways, or spend time, or maybe like, you know, it takes time to get good at these games too, and like it's like second nature for me. I feel like it's like a little bit of a gift too, but it's tough to say. Yeah, they really needed this game to make money, huh? I'm just saying, like, all those salaries I'm seeing. It's so cool. It's a big industry. And it helps, like... It helps to hire all these people, I bet. That's why I'm doing it on my own, but... That's why, like, I'm sure it's not as important for it to do well, like my channel, because I'm the only person it really affects until I decide if I want to have that family or something. But God, lots to think about, lots to think about. Kind of curious how that game is going. I don't know if it's started yet. History in Dallas. LeBron James and Cooper Flag are first players in NBA history to score 20 plus points in same game, with one player aged 40 plus and the other a teenager. I wonder if that game's over yet. The Marlins beat the Yankees 7-6. What Donovan Mitchell does to the Patriots here is so filthy that you might need to watch this video a few times. Yeah, I think they started calling him Spider-Man because I always said he's got that ball on a string, you know. He's got insane handles. Absolutely insane handles. That was ESPN Fantasy or something. Alright, I'm gonna have to look it up on YouTube.
Mitchell backs up. He's watched by Potter on the switch, looking to set up the big man. Donovan goes to work.
Oh man, I gotta see. He dropped two at the same damn time. Which one's Rhino? Which one's Scorpion? Which one's Vulture? Which one's Electro? Yeah, but he'd be pushing off like usual, but it's a soft push off, you know. But they're starting to call it now. They called SGA for one the other day. Just crazy. This one even animated a spider on top of him. They took it away. I gotta watch it again. Yeah, spider emoji. House of Highlights had that one. There's a lot of these, huh? Nah, they tripped over each other. His left leg, but it's fine. He still gotta cause some damage, and they didn't call it. So, yeah, it's only 9:30. They must have had, because I'm on Eastern. But they, yeah, it looks like the end of the third quarter, the Mavericks are beating the Lakers by 10. Bronny's getting some minutes, though. Jackson Hayes, too. Chris Middleton on Dallas. Cooper Flagg's cooking out there. LeBron needs 5 more, and then they'll make it even harder to beat. This is crazy how long this thing is. How long are these credits, really? It's kind of tempting to watch that Rockets Warriors game. Facial animators, huh? I wonder if they had to do some stunts, because I know rigging is like tying. So I'm confused if that would be something there. I don't know. Lots of people, lots of people. Cavaliers winning that game puts them a little more out of reach from the Hawks, but the Knicks keep winning too, so they're only 1 game behind, so all it really takes is for Let's see, 20. They have the same amount of games left. 28, 78. They got 4 games left. The Knicks and the Cavs do, unless this isn't updated yet. In which case, in order to tie, the Cavs would need to win more than the Knicks lose. And the tiebreakers, you always have to look it up. I mean, I don't know, but I think a division leader, which can't be Cleveland and can't be New York. So that's not going to work. It would have to be the head-to-head, which I don't know. I could probably look that up real quick. Cleveland Cavaliers versus New York Knicks. The Cavs won 1 and the Knicks won 2. So the Knicks take that tiebreaker. Oh my god, how many credits can there possibly be? If this is how much this one has, I can't even imagine how much the second one has. I can't imagine I can't imagine the first one having more than the second one. It's been 20 minutes. Like, usually, like, movies, their credits are about, like, 10 minutes. So it must be, like, way more. I mean, what about the writers? I want to know who wrote the game. The Knicks won the first 2 matchups, and the Cavs won the last one. I think that's about it. I can slow it down? No, please. I can go through it faster. Squish? Look at all this madness. Yep. Just all these legal things. Someone's gonna find it, someone's gonna read it. This is insane. Who, with the stroke of his pen, made the world amazing. Steve Ditko, huh? Not even Stan Lee. They're giving us separate. I wonder what they did separately. I feel like Stan Lee created the... I don't know. I'd have to look it up to know the difference. I know it's both of them that made it, but I wonder what one did that the other didn't. He somehow lived to see another day, this Norman Osborn. I wonder if that's, like, a nice place to live. You would think, like, obviously, but I don't know all that. Different strokes for different folks.
So close.
Oh my god, I remember this madness.
But I'll keep trying. I will find a cure. I will. I love you, son.
Wow. That's cool. Something worth seeing at some point, for sure. Because that looks symbiotic in nature. I don't know how they're going to write that into the story, but I saw this back of the Spider-Man 2 game, so... And look at that, they throw me right back in. Or start a fresh adventure with ultimate difficulty or new game plus. Good luck, hero. So that's like what I was saying. You can't do the harder difficulty unless you go... Again, you beat the game once. So I didn't get to do that for harder. And I got the Antioch suit. I don't know what was Antioch about it, but I'm sure there was something. But yeah, I like that they leave it at that, and it's really hard for me to go back and play stuff, but... I don't know. We'll leave it at that for
All
now.
units. An emergency supply station is getting raided by fugitives. Officers
Listen,
needed in Gramercy.
I hope you
Please
enjoyed
copy.
the series. I'm really glad I got to do it. Wish I was back inside. 3 hots and a cot's better than this post-apocalyptic BS. Alright. They did a really good job with this game. I'm very impressed with it. Solid 10 out of 10. I can't even lie.
Hey, you're back. How's your mom?
Fine. Right back to complaining about not having grandchildren.
So, you gonna take that vacation now?
Are you crazy? There's no time for that. The apocalypse didn't happen, which means we've got a city full of loose ends to clean up.
Sounds like a big job, but we're up to it.
Not you. For a job this tough, we need Spider Cop.
You said it! You even did the voice!
Okay, don't make it weird.
You like me! You really like me!
You made it weird. Let's go. We've got work to do.
I can't wait. Spider Cop surveys the city, placid, but seething with turmoil just beneath its calm surface.
What have I done?
Yeah, it would be fun to go back and do a lot of the stuff after the game is complete. But I just don't got that type of time. Too much to play, too much to record, too much to see. But hey. That's what I'm saying. There could be a way, like if I wanted to like record the ultimate. We'll see. People, if you want to see that, let me know. I might be able to squeeze it in somehow. Because I haven't done it before. Didn't feel the worth. But yeah, on that note, it's Mtog. I hope you enjoyed. And I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for tuning in. Stay awesome. Peace out.